So we were doing a very interesting shloka, the 19th shloka. Just think. Ya enam veti hantaram, ya enam manyate hatam, ubhoto na vijanito, nayam hanti na hanyate. While the context was more to do with like death, yeah, context was death. But the takeaway from there mostly is in this shloka is how karma is created. How karma is created and how the soul, the true knowers, the true seers, the true yogis, the true realized souls, wherever there, whoever knows the truth, knows that here they're describing one characteristic of the soul, which is that neither can it do karma, nor can it suffer on account of something else. And neither can it do karma, nor can it suffer on account of anything. The soul does not suffer and the soul does not do. Big takeaways from the last class. Rajshri, you attended, right?
जी दीदी.
Start.
So for me it was like either हम लोग सोचते हैं कि हम कर रहे हैं या समझ रहे हैं कि हम कर रहे हैं. We always say I am doing this, I have done that, but ultimately it is not as like you gave the example of the classes that you were taking, the chanting classes. It reminded me back of my classes, group classes, yoga sessions, when there are days when 4 people turn up or person turns up, and there are thoughts, why am I coming or what it is. But to keep that humility, to keep that ego aside and looking it as an opportunity, so that was one thing which again took me back. Okay, no, I have to mellow down, I have to think, okay, it is giving an opportunity for me to share something, or even to show up and practice for myself, which I have learned. So that was a good quick reminder for me.
Yes. Yeah, that is a very big takeaway. I mean, like, we are not doing any action, it is just happening. So let's not accumulate ego while we are doing it. Right? Excellent. Anything else? That's it. Anjuji?
Didi, it's a lot of surrender that even when I'm doing things, I will do it, but I'm not expecting any big results for me. Like I had some family member who's not been keeping very well, and I know that they don't go to the temples or whatever. So I did my bit by taking them and showing them everything. Now it's up to them. So it's a surrender. I just have to be a conduit where things they happen through me. I'm not taking any responsibility. Not responsibility is a wrong word. Not like I am doing it. It is happening through me, and it is supposed to be happening through me, and I just leave it like that.
Yeah, this is a very important one, especially for, you, Sonal, my mother, myself. I think even Palomi, I think she's into teaching people as well, right? What do you do, Palomi? Away from the computer. Okay. I think this is very important where
No, sorry, I didn't unmute. I do clinical psychology. That's the side of medicine I'm working in. And I do teach. I like to teach meditations and breath work for people.
okay. Whoever is trying to do transformational work, we call it transformational work, where you're trying to change how people think, how people work out, how people live in terms of Sonal or yourself or Palomi, all of us, we are all in the business of transforming people. And actually everybody is in the business of transforming people. We just do it with a lot more ego, right? Everybody is in the business of transforming people because everybody wants, ये खाना ठीक से खा लो, यहाँ पर बैठ ठीक से जाओ, ये करना चाहिए, वो करना चाहिए, ऐसे होना चाहिए, वैसे होना चाहिए. So This is not alien to anybody. Everybody is in the business of transforming people. We do it with a lot more ego. Just, Sonal will say, I'm a doctor and therefore you should listen to me. Or Anjuji will say, I'm over 60. I have more life experience. You should listen to me. Yeah, Rajshri will say, I'm a yoga teacher. You should listen to me. Khushbu to bullies all her kids all the time. Right? Everybody should listen to her. I mean, we don't say it like that, but yeah, that's the idea. I say it all the time. You guys should listen. I just told Sonal, acha Monday ko kyun nahi kiya? So we're in the business of transforming people, all of us. But think about it like this. We remember we took the example of water flowing in a river last class. Everybody remembers that example. So if there is a deep etched surface, deeply etched surface of water, where water is flowing, what are you trying to do? Try to move the water from one space from where it is flowing to another space where you want it to flow. Has anybody seen how dams work? Right? You have to literally stop the water from flowing, create a new path altogether. Yeah. Now there's a big reservoir that is formed. The water is stopped. Then the water is pushed into a new direction or pushed in a new way. So it's a very big job. It cannot be done overnight. If we are getting frustrated that people are not changing, Anjuji, it cannot happen. It has been etched. They are a river running through a canyon. Everybody is a river running through a canyon. To change that will mean to break the canyon. It's not going to happen overnight. In fact, it may not ever happen for them. You have to surrender. May not ever happen for them. See, you are not going to be able to change anybody. And the only thing that will happen is you'll accumulate karma while you're trying to do it.
Didi, I found a remedy for that because I do realize nothing's going to change. Sorry, I just wanted to know whether I'm doing the right thing. That's why I interrupted. What I have showed the way, I've said whatever I needed to say. And then I started doing certain prayers and certain giveaways. And I'm not going to talk about it to them or to anybody, but that's the remedy of कोई नहीं कर रहा तो चलो मैंने तो किया बाकी देखी जाएगी. It happens through me. It's going to happen through me. Let it go.
Again, I will say that it is impossible to transform people. Not possible to transform people. Because they are etched in their canyons. Yeah, they are going to flow through their canyons. So any kind of ego that you are accumulating, thinking that you are changing or you are trying to transform, I'm not saying you, Anjuji, just saying generally, this is for everybody. We are accumulating ego and we are accumulating karma. Maine kiya. I did this. This is the context of this shloka. I did this. राजश्री बोलती है मैंने योगा सिखाया. अरे नहीं सिखाया. उसको जितना सीखना है, जितना बहना है, उतना ही बहेगा. उसके आगे नहीं बहेगा. How many yoga students continue to study yoga? 0. How many yoga students continue to study
Not all.
yoga? 0. How many, Sonal, how many patients continue to follow your diet and your prescription? Change is only possible in a small time frame for other people. Think about this very carefully. It's very important lesson. Why is somebody coming to yoga class, Rajshri? Or why is somebody coming to Sonal? Or why is somebody coming to Pulomi or my mother? Or why is this situation happening? For a short time it is happening. That association is not lifelong, it is short. Even your association with me, you will come and go. Sometimes you're able to come to the class, sometimes you're not able to come to the class. So many people not in the class today. They're not able to come to the class. Why is this happening? Deeply, when you deeply think about it, this is not happening for you to transform other people. This is not happening for those people to imbibe those changes for the rest of their lives. That's incidental. This is happening because of you. You are supposed to say the words you're supposed to say. You are supposed to do the actions that you're supposed to do. I'll say this again. Anything that you are teaching, I am teaching this class. Not for you. I am supposed to teach at this time. You coming and learning, incidental. You are becoming a catalyst for me to be able to do my job, what I had to do. Does that make sense? Do you understand what I'm saying? Don't,
Yes, it does. It does.
yeah, don't accumulate ego के मैं पढ़ा रही हूँ, मेरे पढ़ाने से कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ा. एक तो पहले मैंने इतना कर्म किया, ये भी अपने सर पे मत लो, because you're not doing it. दूसरा, इन लोगों ने सीखा नहीं ठीक से, करा नहीं ठीक से, वो भी तुम्हारा नहीं है. उसको तो बिल्कुल ही छोड़ दो. Just leave that, drop that completely. Don't take any kind of emotional, don't carry any kind of emotional or intellectual baggage from your interactions with other people, because the action was supposed to be done by you. It was only supposed to benefit you. Just take that benefit and move. If I carry somebody to the temple, not because it will be good for them, I want to go to the temple. That's it. And somebody became my reason to go to the temple. Does that make sense? I teach yoga. No, I'm supposed to do yoga right now. And somebody became my motivation to do yoga 110% instead of 80% that I would have done on my own. If I go on my own to the temple, do you think I will do 5 Sahasranams? No, I'll do 2 Sahasranams and come back. But if I carry somebody with me, I will do 5 Sahasranams. Because of them, I'm able to perform 110%. Does that make sense? Do you guys understand what I'm saying? Don't cultivate ego or any kind of karmic baggage when you are apparently doing something for somebody else. These people have come into your life for a short period of time to be able to become the catalyst for your own action, for your own transformation. एहसान मत करो किसी के ऊपर. अगर बच्चे बैठेंगे नहीं तो ये कहानी कैसे सुनाएगी? बच्चे बैठ के सुनते हैं तो कहानी सुनाती है. वो कहानी इसी के लिए है, बच्चों के लिए नहीं है. वो इंसिडेंटल है. सोनल ने प्रैक्टिस खोली, कोई आएगा नहीं तो प्रैक्टिस का होगा क्या? How will she practice? How will she learn? How will she transform? How will she grow? Nobody comes. There is no experimentation. There is no trial and error. There is nothing. She cannot grow. People are coming not because they are getting help. That's incidental. People are coming because they are the catalyst in her change, in her life, in her transformation, in her karmic action. Make sense, guys, with me? Something to remember. Really, really remember. Hold on to it. And don't accumulate ego while you're doing this. Please do not accumulate ego. मैंने किया. और जजमेंट भी मत रखो कि कोई स्टूपिड है, किसी को आता नहीं है। हमारा प्रिविलेज है कि कोई नीचे आके बैठ गया पानी ऊपर से गिरने के लिए, थोड़ी खाई होनी जरूरी है। For our river to flow, there has to be some depression. If somebody is coming as in form of a depression, they are not supposed to be judged. They are allowing our water to flow. Does that make sense? Do you understand what I'm saying? Let's not judge people that they do not know. Thank God for people who do not know. Don't judge people that do not live properly. You know, most of our times we are like, oh my God, where's the world going? Why do people think like this? Why are people so stupid? Why are people so... Are acha hai na? It's very good they're like that. Why judge? So two things, no judgment, and also no ego creation while you're doing this work. Because the work you're not doing is not for other people. Other people are the catalyst for you to do your, to live your 110. Remember, for so many classes I've been saying, you have to live your 110%. You have to do your very, very best. You work very hard. These people give you the opportunity to work very hard. They are the gifts of the universe to you, not the burden you carry. Questions?
As you said that we should not cultivate ego, that I have done it. I agree with you and trying to following now. But when I reflect my past, there has been incidences where I have been the worst human being possible. I've been really, really rude and really rude. And when I see that, yes, I have reasons because the other person created that situation for me where I have to become rude. But today when I reflect back, I feel guilty that why I couldn't control and respond instead of why I reacted. So in this situation, was I meant to do all those rude behavior?
But why you
It
have to,
doesn't really help
Dina,
me to feel
Khushbu,
good
you're
about
not
myself.
thinking before you're speaking. You are saying that you were rude. Why were you rude? Because you took what somebody said personally or somebody did personally. Yes.
Yeah.
But वो तो भगवान ने पहले ही बोला करना नहीं है. ना कोई तुम्हें दर्द कर सकता है, ना दोष दे सकता है, ना खराब कोई आउटकम कोई और दे नहीं सकता. Your soul is above it. Bhagwan already said that. If you are judging something and then acting out of that judgment, right? You're judging something and acting out of that judgment, already you are misplaced in your action. Do not judge the other person. अच्छा कर रहा है, खराब कर रहा है, क्या कर रहा है? अगर आप ये mentally practice, if you continue to practice this mentally on a regular basis, this thought that I do not need to judge, all of these people are present in my life as a catalyst in my life. Some motivate me positively, some give me negative motivation. Everybody is a catalyst. They're all here to help my life. Will we behave in any which way with any people? This is what is right. Do what you think is best. That's it. This is what's worked for me. Perhaps it will work for you too. That's it. So don't beat yourself up firstly for what has happened in the past. And going forward, continue to practice. It will not be easy. I'm not saying I'm a perfect practitioner of this. I'm not. I'm so far from it. I realize it every single day that I do not practice at it. My question today, that will somebody come for class? What a stupid question. Do my job, show up. But I want to know how much my ego can expand. Will I be able to teach 10 people or 15 people or 500 people? Am I focusing on the 3 seats that are empty? There's a story about Swami Chinmayanand. Yeah, he, of course, whatever else was his story. After he learned everything and he came down, he was sent back. He was sent back that you propagate the teachings. And his last question to the teacher was, his teacher was, so when, like, how will I know that, it's ready for propagation? Like, how will I know how many people should I teach? How will I start teaching? So his teacher said, when 2 people are there, then you start teaching. I have to remember that and remind that, and Rajshi, that's a good one to hold on to. Yeah. For as long as there are 2 people, you can teach. You can start your teaching. Swami Chinmayanand started his teaching when there was 1 person sitting in front of him. He set up his class and 1 person came. And he said, okay, now I can start teaching because you are 1 and I am 1. 2 people are there to learn. So I should start teaching. Stupid question. Now, for all those people who didn't attend the class, I can be judgmental and say, why didn't you attend the class? Don't you know Geeta is important? Don't you know it's Raksha Bandhan? Raksha Bandhan is Purnima. It's basically a festival for... What can be better than doing a Geeta class now? Arey, किसी को भोजन better lag raha hai. Somebody is preferring dinner with their family over the Geeta class. Should we judge? That's their pattern. They're flowing like that. It's okay. So anytime you've done something unreasonable, that's fine. Try not to do it going forward. Remember, the soul does not do any karma and is not the receiver of any misery or any action. Is not the doer and not the receiver. Not the doer and not the receiver. The soul isn't. Now the deeper question, then what is karma? How is karma being formed? If the soul, which is all pervading, we've already heard that. If the soul that is all pervading, eternal, whatever else, all these characteristics, and it doesn't even receive karma and it doesn't even do karma, then what is this entire cycle of karma? What is the cycle of karma then?
That we create a pattern for ourselves.
How can we create if the soul does not take anything?
When we accept that we have done it.
Right. Very good.
And the moment we don't accept it, that we have not done it, we are not the doer, we are not the receiver, the karma doesn't attach to us.
Very good. And how does that happen? That happens daily, on a daily basis. Now, on a daily basis, you have to practice that. On an interaction to interaction basis, you have to practice. Like I give my own example, right? This class, why did I ask that question? Ego. Because I wanted some gratification, because I wanted to get attached to that karma. Every day, practice it every day. And slowly, and this is called gyan. You know, there are many kinds of yoga. Does anybody know all the different kinds of yoga? Below me, you know different kinds of yoga? You're still
Like
muted.
the different limbs of yoga, the
Not the
different
different limbs of yoga,
style.
different kinds of yoga, styles
Okay.
of yoga.
Yeah, I know some.
Okay.
I mean, there's Ashtanga, there's Hatha yoga, there's Iyengar yoga,
Okay,
there's Bikram.
that's yoga in the
Is that
hatha
what you're
form. What is
asking?
yoga from the essential yoga word?
It's union. It's bringing
Union.
together.
How
Yeah.
does the union happen? What are the different ways in which yoga can happen? Anybody else? Any other thoughts? These are the forms of the physical yoga, hatha yoga, styles of physical yoga. What are the different kinds of yoga?
Are you talking about Gyan and Bhakti and
Yes,
Karma
yes.
and Raja?
Mm.
Yeah.
Right. So
Raja
what
Yoga,
are they?
Karma Yoga,
Very good, beta Rajri. Batao.
Raja Yoga, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and one I think I'm not able to recollect.
Doesn't matter.
Raja Yoga.
Doesn't matter. So this is what is this? This is various forms in which you can find union, right? Bhakti yoga. I explained it the other day where we were talking about Sikhism. You remember that? We were talking about Sikhism, and I said Guru is so important. There's so much surrender. There's so much surrender. There's so much love for the Guru, the teaching, the word itself. It's so important. Bhakti yoga will get you there because ego does not get developed there. There is no ego. There is no attachment to karma. Right? जो भी किया भगवान के लिए किया या गुरु के लिए किया, अपने लिए तो कुछ किया नहीं. So there's no attachment to karma. जो भी हुआ वो भगवान के लिए हुआ. अच्छा हुआ, भगवान ने किया. अपना कोई attachment. So ये भक्ति योग. Right? Everybody understand? Bhakti yoga. Not going to go into Raj yoga and all, but Bhakti yoga everybody understands, right? What I am teaching you right now, where you're constantly replacing your thoughts and making sure you remind yourself you should not be attached, making sure remind yourself you should not be judging, making sure nobody can hurt you, nobody can inflict any pain or suffering on you, making sure that you know that again and again, reminding yourself like this is Gyan Yoga. This is Gyan Yoga. This is the meditation that is required. Deep meditation, not guided meditation. Not the one that Palomi teaches. Deep meditation, wherein you are sure of how you want to be, how you want to react, how you want to act. Every action you are taking a stock of it, like, you know, have I done it right? Have I done it humbly? Have I created ego while I'm doing it? Am I doing it with me in the center of the picture? Right? I have to be the center of this whole universe. I have to be. Nobody is responsible for my growth, my deterioration, my success. Nobody is responsible. So this is Gyan Yoga. When you have understood, when you have learned what is the truth, but knowing the truth and living the truth are two different things, right? I can say soul is eternal. I can say soul does not create karma. I can say soul does not get affected by karma. I can say soul doesn't, like in the next shloka, it'll say doesn't get born, it doesn't die, it doesn't grow, it doesn't, like, all the 6 functions that are attributed to matter do not apply to soul. In the next shloka, we'll discuss this. But knowing and living it, 2 different things. Anjuji knows soul does not get deteriorated, but she is experiencing her body deteriorating, experiencing it. Soul cannot get hurt, but Sonal's hand is in a sling. The experience that we are having is very mortal. Knowledge we can have, but realization of that knowledge, when you are able to realize this knowledge, that is called Gyan Yoga. Got it? The process of realizing the knowledge, the truth, and it becoming the truth for you. That is the path of Gyan Yoga. It requires deep meditation. Not being outside the world, not being somewhere on the inside world. But what I mean by outside the world, as in, no, not going into a forest, not taking a break from the world. So retreating away from the world, no. Not retreating even inside you, no. Gyan Yoga is when you're in the world and you realize the truth about yourself, and that can only be realized with reference to the world. Do you understand that? If there was no class happening, I will not know this about myself, that I have so much ego that I need to teach 15 people. Will I know that about myself? So Gyan Yoga has to be practiced in the world. As different catalysts, different situations arise, how am I working on them? How am I dealing with them? Am I able to continue to maintain myself, my material self? Is the belief real? That is Gyan Yoga. Requires deep meditation while you are in action. 110% action and 110% reflection. Yeah, 110% action and 110% reflection. When something is happening, how you're interacting. Why am I saying this to Sonal? Why? I don't have a desire to watch her change. I have a desire to speak. Something's definitely wrong with me. So as you continue to do this, and for those of you who've seen me, watch me transform, I stopped saying. I still say some things to some people. I stopped saying. And as you move forward, you'll completely stop saying, because the soul doesn't have anything to do with this karma. You think Ramana Maharshi said anything to anybody कि ये करो या वो करो? I don't think so. I don't think so. So as you move through life and you are able to reflect on these, the last 4-5 shlokas that we have, 9 shlokas that we have studied from the Bhagavad Gita, where Lord Krishna is talking about the soul being eternal, the soul being indestructible, the soul being all-encompassing. And he'll also give some more qualifications of the soul in the next shloka. As we go through Bhagavad Gita and we go through life, with that knowledge, we continue to transform, clean ourselves, transform ourselves. That's Gyan Yoga. Yeah. There are a lot of people who feel, okay, Murti Puja not for me, don't understand idols, don't understand, cannot. My mind is too strong. If your mind is so strong, use it like this. If your mind is strong, study the Bhagavad Gita. Then you can transform. What else was the takeaway? Sonal, what was your takeaway?
I don't know if it's anything that hasn't been said. I was just thinking about I think, the one thing that actually, interestingly enough, although I think we probably talked about it before, is the Shruti versus the Smriti thing. And I don't think I fully realized that the Bhagavad Gita was a Smriti text just because of the way that we describe the Gita always being like this perfect text. And like when we first started defining it, I know that it has to tie back to Shruti, but I don't think I fully realized that. That was probably one takeaway I had. And then the other one I had, I mean, it's kind of what we were already talking about. We were talking about, who should take credit for the river flowing.
Yeah.
Like, should it be the canyon that the river is flowing through, or should it be the water, and so just once again, coming back to this idea that we have to continue to replace our thoughts. And just on reflection of what you just said, I was just thinking about how I had a misunderstanding of what Gyan was. Like, I thought it was an accumulation of knowledge that becomes wisdom, but it's actually not. It's like a replacement of a removal of all knowledge, actually. It's and replacing with I don't know if I would say nothingness, but you know what I mean. It's like it's a different way of being. I had a misunderstanding of what Gyan was.
Yeah, the general definition of, because we say knowledge, and it's coming from the material world. So it'll have the characteristics of the material world, which is matter oriented, which is accumulated, right? But the paragyan or the vigyan. So we look at paragyan as in knowledge of the absolute, and vigyan, knowledge of the matter. We have only studied knowledge in context of matter. All our lives, we have only studied knowledge in context of matter, even with Palomi being a psychologist or psychiatrist, whatever. Even the knowledge of the mind is knowledge of the matter, right? Knowledge of the physical. So we attribute those characteristics to the word gyan. Accumulative. Knowledge kya hoga? Accumulative. Comparative. That is the basic fundamental character of matter. Collection and comparison. We are sophisticated technologies, but if you look at basic technology in a computer, that's where the technology starts. Collection and comparison. So knowledge we have defined as Accumulation, not because knowledge's definition is accumulation, but our experience of knowledge in this world has been Vigyan, knowledge of the material world. Even what we call the arts. So we define it: music, sculpture, painting, social behavior, psychological behavior, economics, politics, history. All of these subjects that we consider as non-science subjects are also based or rooted in matter. Yeah. So our understanding of knowledge itself is accumulated. But paragyan, or the knowledge of the absolute, which is what Gyan Yoga is all about, is not accumulative, like Sonal said. Absolutely true. Yes, Megha. You came late and you were the first one to raise your hand. What happened?
No, Didi.
What?
I came late because I was called in for a meeting, which there was an escalation. So while you were talking about, all the gyan and everything, I was just thinking to myself that, situation happened today, which, I wrote that line down, which you just said, 110% action and 110% reflection. But Didi, in the corporate setup, I often see that people always want to put blame on you for something that you have not even done because they want to be out of that situation, right? And when that happens, and because I know this situation happened not because of my mistake, but somebody else's ignorance or not being attentive to the process, is it wise to still accept that mistake?
There are two aspects of this question. Okay. First thing is, when a ripple is happening in your life, a ripple as in a disturbance. When a disturbance is happening in your life, professionally, personally, physically, mentally, any kind of ripple that is happening, first thing you have to remember, it is a pattern that is playing out. If it was not your pattern, it would not play out in front of you. It would play out, surely some things must be a fire for somebody else, right? If it is playing out in front of you, it is supposed to be for you. It is your pattern. First, take responsibility of it, for it. Whatever disturbance is coming, okay, whatever disturbance is coming, my husband's sick or upset, or my boss is sick or upset, or whatever, not even related to you, but it's come in front of you. It's not related to you, but it's coming. It's somebody else's fault. I am paying for it. Doesn't matter. If it is come in front of you, it is supposed to be your pattern.
Okay.
First thing. If you get affected by it, if mentally you allow yourself, or physically you allow yourself, oh, I'm so exhausted. Oh, I'm so tired. Oh my God, why do they always blame me? Why are they asking me to give an answer for somebody else's problems? Right? How am I responsible? Why does this man never understand what I'm saying? All of this that you can from your life give, the words that you use in your life. So when that happens, you are reiterating a pattern. If you start getting affected, right? Something is happening, it's happening. You can address it to the best of your ability and then forget it. But if you, with the addressal, also take on the stress of it, take on the thought of it, allow it to loop in your head But this is not my fault, this is somebody else's fault. Why am I always getting blamed? Why am I asked to give the answers? When you start looping around in your head, that pattern that has come to you once now will come to you again in this lifetime as well as next lifetimes.
So Didi, so what I understand is that accept, even if it's happening because somebody else, but because I'm the one who's program managing the whole thing, so I have to accept that it's my
Not
mistake.
because you're program managing. You know, even if you weren't program managing, if you are supposed to receive blame for something else that somebody else did, it would happen at home also.
So how do
Not
we
because
accept it?
you're program managing, not because you're in a certain situation. That particular feeling that you're going through, that particular blame that was assigned to you, that was supposed to come to you because you've called it, because that's how you feel all the time. That's your pattern, that's your depression. That's where the water will flow. So it has nothing to do with what is happening in the real, like, you know, cause and effect is not important here.
Yeah.
So, but the knowledge starts from I am the center of my universe. If some experience has come to me, good, bad, ugly, I don't have to overanalyze it. I don't have to say that, see, say supposing I was in an accident. Somebody hit me by car. I was walking on the road, minding my own business, somebody came and hit me. Now, obviously, the first human reaction is this guy's at fault. Yes? Like Sonal got hit in her competition. Her first reaction is this guy is 6'2", the guy is hitting so hard, what the hell? She said that also in the class, recorded. So
I immediately think there must have been something I did though. Like
of
I
course, that's
immediately
in it. That is Gyan Yoga, beta. Of course that is good. But I'm just saying normal human being, when you are faced with a good outcome also, say you got accolades or you got a prize, do you think somebody else was responsible? Who do you think is responsible there? I did it. I did it. Yes. And when something bad is happening, you did it. He did it. She did it. Both things are not true. We have created a pattern and we are living in that pattern. Neither did somebody else do something to me, nor did I do something great anywhere.
So Didi, how do we break this pattern?
This is called Gyan Yoga, beta. यही समझा रही थी. ये अपने आप करना शायद हम लोगों के बस की नहीं है. इसलिए भक्ति योग ज्यादा आसान है. That's why bhakti yoga is an easier option. You can say भगवान ने किया. And then you can start having a fight with God also. Why does God always do this to me? I'm sure you've experienced that. Because I know you've experienced that. So both things, good things that are coming to you, do not inflate your ego. Bad things that are coming to you, do not exercise judgment. Do not say this is responsible, that is responsible, that is responsible, and I am being blamed unnecessarily. जब बिना रीजन के अच्छी चीजें हो सकती हैं, तो बिना रीजन के खराब चीजें भी तो हो सकती हैं. अच्छे में ये मत सोचो कि मैंने कुछ किया था, बुरे में ये मत सोचो किसी और ने कुछ मेरे को किया. Do you understand? So escalation, okay, fine. the call got escalated, you had to go for an emergency call, that's fine. Go with a neutral mind. Do not start looping around कि किसने किया, क्यों किया, किस लिए किया, होता क्यों है, हमेशा ऐसा क्यों होता है. I'm not saying this is just you. I go through this all the time. But if we continue to feel like that and feed ourselves those thoughts will become our pattern, and those experiences will repeat themselves. Sometimes physically, sometimes mentally. I'll give you my personal example because there's not much that I can. I shared with you guys a lot. You guys know a lot about my brother because I talk about him all the time in the class. All of our, I mean, except for when we were like really young, maybe perhaps up to 5 years of his age. After that, he was like, you know how boys are, they were just in their own world. So, yeah, I always thought, well, most people have a good relationship with their sibling. Like, you know, what's it with me? Like, I don't feel like I have a brother. And then, of course, he passed out 12th, he went out to study. So he was not physically also there. So I said, oh, I continue to harbor this feeling of, why do I not have this experience of having a sibling? Right? Why do I not experience it? Why do I not have the experience of having a sibling? I continued to have that right up to the last day of his life. And now I still have it, that I don't have a sibling. His physical presence also didn't make any difference to my thought. So why create a pattern? Don't create a pattern. Don't loop around in patterns. I'm not saying it will bring about somebody's death. I'm just saying if that's your pattern, somehow or the other, it will pan out. So don't create a pattern. If you feel that you're a victim all the time, then you will be a victim all the time. If you feel that you're always being blamed for somebody else's problem, then you'll always be blamed for somebody else. That's the pattern that you've created. There is no need for us to create these patterns. हाँ बेटा.
So we are not supposed to create neither negative patterns nor positive patterns, correct?
Correct. No patterns at all. Everything that is happening, you watch it like an audience. Like a movie. Watch your life like a movie. Watch it like an audience. Just like a movie, do not take away any, like, you know, kabhi, yeah, once in a while you drop a tear or you break out into a laugh. That's fine. But remember, it's a movie only. There is no reality to it. The moment you associate reality to it, you create karma. And then that will become your reality for the rest of your lifetimes. Not one, every lifetime. Yes, Palomi, you have a question?
I'm in a situation right now where we have a big family wedding next week, and it feels difficult for me and my siblings to go and show up because it's just different now without our mom. And I'm in a particular conversation with my youngest sibling who just doesn't want to go. Like, you know, she's saying, I don't want to go. It's hard to go have this experience without mommy. Why are
But how
you
will mommy
pushing
have
me
this
to go?
experience if you guys don't go?
Yeah,
Would she have wanted to
yeah,
attend it? Would she have wanted to attend this wedding?
absolutely.
And then if you don't go, who will carry her with? Who will carry her
Yeah,
to the
I'm
wedding?
It's true. I'm going. I'm having a hard time, but I'm going, but
Don't
I
have a,
can't get
don't
my
continue to
siblings to
tell yourself you're
understand.
having a hard time. Go with your mother. She will go with you. And have a good time
Okay.
there. Have a really good
Mm,
time. Half the good time for you and full good time for her.
mhm.
Yeah.
But I'm watching. So to your thought, I'm watching, but I can't do anything. I can't force
That
or
is
push,
Gyan.
right?
That's Gyan
So
Yoga, beta. That's a slowly
yeah,
transform. Slowly transform.
yeah.
And if you can't do it yourself, believe me, she's going with you.
Mhm.
And if you guys don't show up, only like if only one of you shows up, then only 1/3 of her can go.
Oh, that's sad. Yeah, I can't force my siblings, but they're saying
I'm
no,
just saying
So
that's an
I'm just
argument
watching
to
it.
be
Yeah.
made. Just, and if only one of you show up, then maybe you should do it 3 times better. Right?
Yeah,
So just
yeah. Okay.
continue to work on yourself so that you're able to include your mother and keep a positive outlook so that it doesn't become a pattern of heavy outlooks.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. And I would definitely, I would say go. Just
Yeah,
go. Haan beta.
yeah.
So, Didi, this question is not related to today's class, but last shlokas. I'm trying my best to contract my senses when it comes to food. But my cravings become so strong, and then I just eat it up, and I keep on reminding myself what you keep on saying: contract your senses, contract your senses. And then I all the more keep on eating, eating, eating. And second is every time in the morning when I do exercise, I keep on telling myself you have to give yourself 110% to exercise, but I find it so hard. It's like
You're
it's
not
like
alone, darling. I think I would say that I have the same problem. But there are two ways of addressing senses. Sensory gratification can be done if your pattern is such that you're not going to be able to run away from it, then allow yourself to flow there. Have a little every day. Instead of having big portions, have small portions. है ना? खाना खाना खाने का मन कर रहा है, थोड़ी सी चटनी और थोड़ा सा कुछ खा लो, ग्रेटिफाई हो जाएगा. सेंस ग्रेटिफिकेशन चाहिए ना, सेंस ग्रेटिफिकेशन कर लो हल्का बहुत. और दूसरा जो आप एक्सरसाइज के लिए बोल रहे हो, वो अगर अकेले नहीं हो रही, तो आई एम श्योर देयर आर other patterns that will help you. You have to find your own pattern. Sometimes, like what I do is, if I have to exercise, I'll either start a class where I'm teaching or go into a class where I'm learning. Because that external discipline is very important for me to be able to give my 110. Right? I can't do myself. That's something I struggle with. But I'm sure there will be another pattern that will help you get to that same end. Do you understand?
my yeah, I got it. My second question is something happened with me today morning, and that left me zapped. My son, 7-year-old son, he came. We were doing puja together since it was a holiday for him today, so he had ample time. He after doing puja, he asked me, "Mama, मैं इतना काम करवा रहे हो आप मेरे से भगवान का, भगवान जी मेरे को मैं जो मांगूंगा सब दे देंगे ना?" Like Bhagwan, I gave him all the gyans which you I took it from you, and after giving him gyan, I was wondering, has anything gone into his mind? And what am I doing? I told him, आप भगवान से आपको कुछ मांगने की जरूरत नहीं है, जो आपको मिलना होगा आपको मिल जाएगा. And he was wondering, I want a drone in my next birthday. Please get that for me. And I was like, so how to, how to teach little children these small bits of wisdom that I'm taking from you? Like the star story which you told me about Nani, I told him and he got it so beautifully.
So you want me to do second-hand parenting for you? Okay. Well, I think what you have to explain to your children is that all actions are not for some kind of reward. And because that is not clear to your child, that question is coming. If children only understand reward and punishment behavior, then there is a fault. I mean, you can't change that with God. Okay. Why is this happening? Because this child is not working very hard for his parents or his grandparents. He's not doing anything for anybody else. He's living a completely indulgent life. So that is the basic problem. The child has to be made to do things for parents, for grandparents. जब दबाओ पाँव, माँ बाप के पाँव दबा रहा है बच्चा रात को, कुछ नहीं मिलेगा. अगर नहीं दबा रहा है तो फिर उसको ये समझा नहीं सकते आप भगवान के लिए. You can't explain why God should be an area where he should be unconditional. It should be unconditional work. You've not made him work unconditionally anywhere else. So little children have to be made to work. They have to do their own share of contribution for no reward. He's a 7-year-old child, is a big enough child, can help you in the kitchen, can help you clean, can help you do things, can bring things for you, is a very old child. It's not like a very small child. But you're not making him do anything else. And because you're not making him do anything else, he will not understand this for God either. In fact, that's a very bad way of bringing up children, because they don't value you, they only value what you stand for or what you can get them. So that change has to be brought about in other areas of life. Why am I doing this? Because I love you and you love me. If that conversation has never been had, and he's never been made to do things just because he loves you or you love him, then he will not understand that. If the only interaction is always carrot driven or stick driven, he will not understand this. No conversation, no dialogue that I can give you will make him understand God, because you haven't made him understand love. Yes, Megha.
Didi, so Khushbu gave an example which was related to food or exercise. If I have to give you an example of relationships of person, like for example, if I want to push somebody away from my life because I know that his or her presence gives me stress, but the more I try to push this person away, there's a pull which is there happening, right? How do we stop that?
We don't have to push people away. We just have to remember that we are the center of our universe. Everything is coming to us because it is in our pattern. If you continue to hate somebody or not want somebody, that hate will continue, remember? That pattern will continue. Bringing the person in or out of your life is incidental. How you're feeling about it is more important.
Okay, so if I consciously want someone to be out of my life,
If
what
you
do I
constantly
feel?
crave that, nothing. Why do the opposite? Include everybody in your life. Do not allow people to influence you like that negatively.
So should I say something to myself every day?
Nothing. You don't have to do anything. Just stop thinking, I want this away, I want this away, I want this away, I want this away, I want this away. Then you'll always have something that you need to put away from your life. The pattern is, I want something which is undesirable away from my life. So undesirable will always be present in your life, because that's the pattern you've created.
I'm confused. Sorry. So why But what pattern have I created to attract undesirable in my life?
It may not be from this lifetime, maybe from other lifetimes. If I know you as I know you, I can tell you all the things that were right from when you were a child. So many things were undesirable. You've been trying to get away from undesirable right from when you were a kid. Yes or no? So stop thinking something is undesirable. Think everything is blissful in my life. Because you spend a lot of mental time creating that pattern. Did you understand?
Bit.
You didn't understand. This is not the first time a person is there or a situation is there that is not good, that you want to get away from. Yes? Not the first time, right? It will not also be the last time. Has it happened before? Many times before?
Yeah, I keep getting such people in my life.
Correct. You have created that pattern. It has nothing to do with people. You. So what should you do? There are two
Yeah.
options.
Hmm.
Firstly, if somebody is behaving badly to you, you probably are inciting that kind of behavior. You may want to change or evaluate how you can change your action so that the behavior is positive. Once you've exhausted all those options, right? First, you try to change yourself, transform your communication. Become small. Maybe you're acting out of ego, the other person is also reacting. So become small, try become small. And after you've tried all of those options and you still feel this is still a negative, then you start shutting out your mind. Say you get used to, if you have dogs in your street and they bark at night, you get used to the dog barking and you go to sleep. If you have a train in your backyard and it goes very loudly, you get used to it after a while, right? You don't continue to hyperventilate, oh my God, this is so bad, this is so bad, this is so bad, this is so bad. Get used to it, close your eyes to it, let it happen. This is a pattern you have to live through in your life. ये आदमी जाएगा तो दूसरा आ जाएगा. कोई चेंज नहीं होने वाला इसमें. We've seen examples of people who get married once, then twice, then 3 times, then 4 times. Then the nth girlfriend will also be a miserable situation for the man or the woman. Why? The pattern is the same. You didn't do anything to change the pattern. That one particular individual is not the problem. The problem is you. But we have a tendency to blame outwardly. I explained that earlier also.
Thank you, Rithik.
You're welcome. So, generally, the idea is do not create ego, do not create judgment. Na neither can you kill ego, that you can do something, nor can something happen to you, that you can suffer on somebody's account. The soul is untouched. How does the soul accumulate karma? It accumulates karma because it starts believing whatever the mind is telling it. The soul does not have karma. The mind creates the karma. The body creates the karma. And because of that, the mind and the body have to go through many lifetimes because they've created these valleys and cliffs and these depressions through which water will flow every time it comes. So karma is never associated with the soul. Neither can the soul kill, nor can the soul die. Neither can the soul receive any action, nor can the soul perpetrate any action. Only the mind does it. And because the mind does it, the body-mind construct that comes with us is based on the karmic patterns that we create. सोल हर बार आएगा, उसको हर बार कुछ नहीं हो सकता, बट माइंड चलेगा 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 तो वो चीजें दोबारा आके करनी पड़ेंगी, पैटर्न बन जाए. ठीक? Everybody understood? Yeah, do not create and perpetrate such patterns. Do not. If you think you're too good, that is also a bad pattern. If you think you're too bad, that is also a bad pattern. If you think you're lucky, that is also a bad pattern. If you think you're unlucky, that is also a bad pattern. In fact, any pattern is a bad pattern from the yoga point of view. Kyuki the moment you have pattern, you have karma, and the moment you have karma, you have next lifetimes. But at least in this lifetime, if you can't drop all the karma, you can drop all the negative karma. Drop it. Even in the worst situation, find a good way to look at it. At least create positive patterns only. Be happy, extremely happy all the time. Create that pattern for yourself. Nobody is responsible for your unhappiness. Only you are. Even if you lose a leg, God wants you to walk on one foot. God thinks I'm so special. He gave two legs to most people, gave me only one because I can do what others cannot do. That can be an approach to life. Right? I can walk on one leg. I can do everything with one leg, one hand, one eye. No eyes, no legs. The entire body doesn't move. God knows I can do it even with this situation because I'm special. So at least if not dropping karma altogether, at least have this karma. Positive one. At least have this pattern, positive pattern. Everything should be positive. तो अगर दूसरी लाइफ आई भी तो कम से कम खुश तो रहे, है ना? At least happy, at least satiated. Yes, beta.
One final question, Didi. My mother used to say every night before sleeping these words, जो भी हुआ तूने करवाया, जो भी किया तूने करवाया, तेरा तुझको समर्पण है. She used to say these words before sleeping, even after doing puja. She used to do puja 7-8 times a day. I have always seen her sitting in front of the temple. So is this, since you mentioned about bhakti yoga right now, is it related to bhakti yoga, and was these statements correct for her to say not to attach with any karma? Can we say
this? You can say that. See, knowledge is different from realization. I just explained that. You can have the knowledge, you can repeat the words, but if you are constantly crabby about everything in life,
makes no sense.
So Yes. I forget the shloka. What is the shloka, beta? Mega, last wala kya karte hain hum concluding shlokas?
The 19th.
अपराध सहस्राणि
वाचा
क्रियन्ते।
मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा
हाँ, कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि. That's the Sanskrit version of the exactly what your mother used to say. Last shloka of Vishnu Sahasranam. कायेन वाचा, काया से, बॉडी से, वाचा, वाणी से, मन से, इंद्रियों से, सेंसेस. बुद्ध्यात्मना वा, बुद्धि से, आत्मा से, प्रकृति से और स्वभाव से. करोमि यद्यत्, if I have done, sakalam parasme, anything, any work, any action, which is good, which is positive, Sriman Narayaneti samarpayami. I want to surrender it to Narayan. जब हम भक्ति योग करते हैं तो हम अच्छी अच्छी चीजें ही भगवान को देते हैं, अपना खराब नहीं देते भगवान. Right? So yeah, it's okay to we can repeat the shloka, but unless we live it, we have to live it also. That is what I'm trying to explain to you. Live it like that. Do not create negative patterns, at least that much. Soul has the capability of not doing any karma, not receiving any karma. Your mind has the capability of doing karma and receiving karma both. Mind has the ego and mind has the judgment. So dropping the mind will help you get in touch with the soul, which is what you want to do. Yeah. So this is more to do with the mind. This shloka. Next shloka, Bhagwan Shri Krishna, he is talking about the body. Yeah, we'll get to that next class. Any other questions? Everything was clear? Everybody understood this? The shloka is Ya enam veti hantaram yaschenam manyate hatam ubhoto na vijanito nayam hanti na hanyate. Neither can you be the perpetrator nor can you be the victim in all forms of action. Yeah. And please use your knowledge, use your meditation to get to a point where you are at least aware when you're doing this. There's a tendency like, I have a great tendency, Megha has a great tendency, blame people. Blame people. Sonal has that too. Where you have very strong Saturnian influence, then you will start blaming people. And it's sometimes not even obvious to other people that you're blaming them. It's going on in your head. But for as long as you are working on purging that, that is what we want to take away from you. That's it. As much as possible. Working on purging that, working on purging that. That's it. And have a positive reinforcement. There's always a way to look at something positively. The worst situation, you can look at positive. It's always possible. Yeah. So try. You're not always going to succeed, but that is Gyan Yoga. Remember, yoga is never easy. Any kind of yoga is not easy. Is it easy? It is not easy. It takes a lot of effort. So this will also similarly take the effort. Transforming. I'm not doing anything, nothing is happening to me. I'm not doing anything, nothing is happening to me. Neither become the doer nor become the receiver of action. Continue to work very hard. Body is meant to work very hard. Mind is meant to work very hard. Not meant to create this karma. Neither am I doing anything, nor is anything happening to me. Because my soul is free and clear from all of these. And I don't want to make it a prisoner again, like I am right now, today. Right? My soul is a prisoner here in this life, isn't it? I'm sure everybody's experienced that. Either prisoner in the body, or prisoner in the circumstances, or prisoner in this societal setup. We are prisoners here. So if you want to free your soul, you want to make sure you work on this. All right? All right. Take care, guys. Next time, Megha, you are doing the revision. I'm giving you ample time.
Yeah.
Namaste, Raja.
जी